Now, when the leaders of the world's two biggest economies met this week, the big question on everyone's mind is US President Donald Trump changing his tune when it comes to China. His two-day trip there was full of lavish pomp and ceremony, with China's President Xi Jinping looking eager to present a welcoming face. The Chinese called Trump's trip to the country a state visit plus. And when it comes to trade, this is one of the world's most important relationships. Non-binding deals worth $250 billion were signed, and the smiling faces and tone was certainly friendlier than during Trump's election campaign.
I don't blame China. After all, who can blame a country for being able to take advantage of another country for the benefit of its citizens? I give China great credit.
Well, joining us now from Hong Kong is Jeff Lewis, Senior Asia Strategist with the US-based Manulife Asset Management. Thanks very much for being with us. Now, candidate Donald Trump talked quite a lot on the campaign trail about China trade and the deficit and getting tough on China. But so far, he hasn't delivered. It's just been talk at this point. Is he softening his position now? And what might that mean for trade relations with China?
Hopefully, Donald Trump will treat Xi Jinping as an equal. The two economies now are the biggest in the world. China's a top trading partner to nearly everybody, and deserves to be treated as a serious player. I don't think you'll be able to force concessions on China. So a good relationship between the two leaders, and then let the teams of trade negotiators carry on. There'll be a lot of hard negotiation over the next 12 months.
You talk there about treating China as an equal, but it does seem as if China is very much in the ascendancy here, while U.S. leadership across a number of areas is being questioned. So I guess to the question of who is playing who here.
I think it's in the interests of both leaders to present a positive face on this. The idea that China is really out to damage other economies really doesn't bear much examination. The trade surplus has come down dramatically. Policy on the renminbi has changed a lot, and China is no longer gaining rapid market share in world trade. So I think the adjustment costs of bringing China into the world trading system, they were large, but they're largely in the past. The US economy, after all, now is at full employment. So in the absence of a regional trade negotiation, the TPP was always flawed by excluding China, then I think we're having to rely on these bilateral trade negotiations between large economies like US, China, US, Japan. It's the second best solution, but it's all we have in this current political environment. There's little hope of another multilateral trade round.
Well, where do you see the biggest tensions right now between China and the US in trade?
I think the tensions will probably center over things like intellectual property and transfer of technology, and probably those issues are more contentious now than, say, dumping of steel or basic materials, where China is clearly in the process of cutting back excess capacity. In the past, those kind of disputes have been solved through countervailing duties. There was a procedure for that which has been used quite a lot by the previous US administration on a very specific basis. But I think now there are some more general principles at stake which need to be hammered out in the comprehensive economic dialogue talks between the US and China.
Jeff Lewis, thanks for being with us.